The bigger news in the world of cricket the past few days has been the retirement of MS Dhoni. Your views on that? He has been your captain both as India captain as CSK captain.
See, I think he's got some more. He's going to play as he's going to be available as a player to play for the team. But he's had a wonderful, illustrious career as a captain. There are a lot of leadership lessons for even big leaders out there. So that's as much as I can.
சார் இப்போ வந்து உலகின் தலைசிறந்த கேப்டனான தோனிக்கு கீழே வந்து பெர்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணியிருக்கீங்க. ஸோ இப்போ தோனி சார் வந்து இப்போ வந்து தன்னுடைய கேப்டன்சியை வந்து குவிட் பண்ணியிருக்காரு. இதுக்கப்புறம் இந்திய கிரிக்கெட் அணியின் எதிர்காலம் எப்படி இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க? இந்த மாதிரியான ஒரு வரலாற்றின் ஒரு ஸ்ட்ராட்டஜிக் கேப்டன் இனிமேல் இந்தியாவுக்கு கிடைப்பாங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறீங்களா சார்?
எல்லாருமே முன்னாடியே நீங்கள் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா கூட சௌரவ் கங்குலி வந்து இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ஃபேஸை ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணார். 2000 ஏர்லி 2000s அவர் ஒரு கேப்டனாக வந்து அவர் தான் ஃபைட்டிங் ஸ்பிரிட் எடுத்துகிட்டு வந்தார் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஒரு ஃபேஸ் ஆரம்பிச்சு அந்த ஃபேஸில் நிறைய யங்ஸ்டர்ஸ் வந்தாங்க. அந்த ஃபேஸில் வந்தவர் தான் எம்எஸ்டி கூட டு சர்டன் எக்ஸ்டென்ட். அண்ட் அந்த ஃபேஸுக்கு அப்புறம் இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு யாருமே வரமாட்டாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஆப்வியஸ்லி தீஸ் ஆர் ஆல் எமோஷனல் கிரைஸ் தட் வி ஹேவ் அண்ட் இட் இஸ் ஒன்லி பவுண்ட் டு ஹேப்பன் வென் யூ ஹேவ் சச் இல்லஸ்ட்ரியஸ் பீப்புள் லீவிங் த கேம். இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ஆளுங்க கேமை விட்டு போகும்போது இட்ஸ் ஒன்லி நேச்சுரல் அண்ட் எமோஷனல் அண்ட் எஸ்பெஷலி இந்தியா இஸ் அ வெரி எமோஷனல் கண்ட்ரி. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு சுச்சுவேஷன்லேருந்து முன்னாடி போகிறதுக்கு யாராவது வருவாங்களா அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து இட்ஸ் அ ராங் கொஷின் என்னை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும். யாராவது வருவாங்க கண்டிப்பாக. அண்ட் விராட் கோலி ஒன்றும் சலச்சவர் இல்லை. இப்போ லாஸ்ட் 1 இயரில் அவரோட டெஸ்ட் பர்ஃபார்மன்ஸஸ் பார்த்தா அவர் இஸ் இந்த ரைட் ஃபேஸ் டு டேக் ஓவர். அதையும் பார்த்து தான் ஐம் ஷுர் எம்எஸ் ஹஸ் தாட் ஹி வில் பாஸ் த பேட்டன் ஆன். அண்ட் அவரோட இல்லஸ்ட்ரியஸ் கரியர் பற்றி பேசினா தான் இப்போ தான் சொன்னேன். அதை மேட்ச் பண்ண முடியுமா, அதே அச்சீவ்மெண்ட் எல்லாரும் பண்ண முடியுமான்னு கேட்டால் அது ஒரு ஹெர்குலியன் டாஸ்க்காக தான் இருக்கும். டெஃபினட்டாக ஈஸியாக இருக்காது.
தனிப்பட்ட அஸ்வினை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் தோனி இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் கேப்டனாக தொடர்ந்துருக்கலாம் அப்படின்னு நினைக்கிறீங்களா?
சார் இதெல்லாம் ஒரு தனிப்பட்ட முறையை ஒரு ஆளோட ஒரு டிசிஷன் சார். இதெல்லாம் நான் அதை பற்றி பேசி என்ன யூஸ்ன்னு எனக்கு தெரியல. யார் டிசிஷன் எடுக்கிறதுக்கும் தனிப்பட்ட முறையில் நான் எந்த விதமான சஜஷனும் கொடுக்க முடியாது. இது ஒரு ப்ரொஃபஷனல் வேர்ல்டு சார். அதான் வந்து நம்ம ஒரு எமோஷனல் பேட்டிலுக்குள்ளே இறங்குறோம்னு நினைக்கிறேன். விஎஸ் நம்ம கம்யூனிட்டியாகவே நம்ம ஒரு எமோஷனல் பேட்டில் இறங்கினா அது எப்போவுமே ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் தான். அது ஒரு தனிப்பட்ட மனுஷனோட கால். அவங்களுக்கு அந்த ரெஸ்பெக்டை கொடுத்து அதை டிசிஷனை கொடுக்கணுங்கிறது மரியாதைன்னு நான் நினைக்கிறேன். ஒவ்வொருத்தரை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் ஒன்று மரியாதை. இது என்னை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் அது மரியாதை.
Ashwin, in 2014, நீங்கள் சொன்னீங்க during the Adelaide test, you felt like it was a kick on your backside. In the last test at Sydney, I guess, Virat Kohli was the captain, full-time captain. The first wicket that you took off David Warner was the first time, I guess, you bowled with a new ball. To get a defensive shot, you took 4 wickets and then you started taking wickets and it's a complete different thing. And now Virat Kohli is now going to take up as a full time, probably going to take up a full skipper. So how do you take the things as you as a bowler with Virat Kohli as a captain?
Sir, first of all, the starting thing I would like to answer. The kick down the backside was for me personally. To relate it to anybody else, I think is pointless because no, I'm just clarifying it. So it just becomes pointless because if you're constantly looking for support outside or looking for people to blame, I think you're just left behind in your life, not just in your career. Starting from there to Sydney, yes, like you said, I bowled with a new ball and all that. It was just a strategic call. We felt like the wicket is spinning and David Warner has got out to me a lot of times, so we thought we will go out with it. And he's taking over all 3 formats, the most likely, like you said. So I don't know if the announcement's been made yet, because with social media go around, you don't know what quotes will come out. So see, I think it's going to be a challenging task for anybody. Managing the 3 formats like what's happened in the past is definitely that will get you to a certain degree where you will start feeling the pressure, start feeling the tension and all that. As a playing group, we've got, I think, a reasonably senior playing group, team that's been playing together for some time, even in the test format. We'll definitely have to pitch in and try and help him out. He's someone who looks out for suggestions. He's someone who's looking out to make game plans well ahead of the game. So I think it's going to be an exciting phase. It's all about working out together. We'll have hard and testing times. That's all cricket has to offer to you. So we're looking forward to it.
ட்விட்டரில் செமையாக கலாய்க்கிறீங்களே, அதுக்கு எதுவும் தனியாக ட்ரைனிங் எடுக்கிறீங்களா?
அப்படிலாம் ஒன்றும் இல்லை சார். சி கிரிக்கெட் இஸ் அ கேம் கிரிக்கெட் ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும் சார் கேம். ஸோ என்னோட ஆன்ஃபீல்டு இமேஜையும் என்னோட பர்சனல் கேரக்டரையும் வந்து மிக்ஸ் பண்ணிக்கிறது தான் உங்களோட ப்ராப்ளம் நான் ஃபீல் பண்ணுறேன். நான் மற்றபடி ஜென்ரலாகவே பயங்கர ஜோவியலான ஒரு பர்சன், ரொம்ப குசும்ப பிடிச்சவன். ஸோ ஏதாவது பேசுனீங்கன்னா ஃபஸ்ட்டு நக்கலாக தான் பதில் வரும். அண்ட் I just try and mix my life with a lot of humor. So even when we go on shoots, which we have been doing over the last 15-20 days, generally we try and எல்லா கேரவேனுக்குள்ளே தான் எல்லோரும் இருப்பாங்க, சிரிச்சு தான் ஃபுல் டே பேசினே இருப்போம். And cinema is a very very important integral part of my life. So cinema, and obviously with Aditya channel coming in, and Aditya channel ஒரு ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டண்ட்டான ஃபேஸ். ஸோ அதுலேருந்து ட்ரை அண்ட் ரெப்ளிகேட் எல்லாத்துலேயுமே ஹியூமர் பார்க்குறது தான் என்னோட ஸ்டைலே லைஃப்பில்.
இப்போ ரீசெண்டாக நீங்கள் ட்வீட் பண்ணியிருந்தீங்க தோனிக்கு, இது மாதிரி அவர் சாம்பியன்ஸ் ட்ராஃபி ஃபைனல் போது உங்ககிட்ட எதுவும் சொன்னார் ரொம்ப இன்ஸ்பைரிங்காக, அப்படி என்ன சொன்னார்?
அவர் சொன்னாருன்னு சொல்ல, கான்வர்சேஷன் நடந்ததுன்னு சொன்னேன்.
அதான் அது என்ன ஆக்சுவலாக?
ஸோ பேசிக்காக வந்து நான் அந்த லாஸ்ட் ஓவர் போடும்போது ஃபைவ் ஃபீல்டர்ஸ் உள்ளே வைக்கணும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். அப்போ அந்த ரூல் தான் இருந்தது, 5 ஃபீல்டர்ஸ் நாட் 4 ஃபீல்டர்ஸ். ஸோ அது வைக்கும்போது 5th ஃபீல்டர், இன்ஃபேக்ட் ப்ராப்ளி வாஸ் இட் பவர் பிளே, ஐ கான்ட் ரிமெம்பர், எக்ஸ்ட்ரா ஃபீல்டர் உள்ளே வைக்கணும். ஸோ எந்த ஃபீல்டர் உள்ளே வைக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஒரு டிஸ்கஷன் நடந்துருக்கும் போது நான் சொன்னேன், எந்த ஃபீல்டர் உள்ளே வச்சு யூஸ் இல்லை, கரெக்டாக முதல்ல கை நடுவு நின்றுச்சுன்னா போதும், அதுக்கப்புறம் பால் லேண்ட் ஆகும் அப்படின்னு. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பால் வந்து அதே மாதிரி ஃபுல் டாஸ் வந்துச்சு, ஸ்டூவர்ட் ப்ராட் ஸ்வீப் அடிப்பார் நினைக்கிறேன், இல்லை செகண்ட் பால் சம்திங். ஸோ அந்த கான்வர்சேஷன்ஸ், அந்த யூஃபோரியா அபவுட் எங்கெல்லாம் ஃபீல்டு போடலாம், அன்றைக்கி நான் என்னெல்லாம் சொன்னேனோ அதெல்லாம் ஒர்க் ஆச்சு. இஷாந்த் சர்மாவோட ஓவரில் எங்கே ஃபீல்டு வைக்கணுமோ அங்கே வச்சதெல்லாம் ஒர்க் ஆச்சு. ஸோ கான்ஸ்டன்ட் த்ரூ த கேம் கான்வர்சேஷன்ஸ் அண்ட் கம்யூனிகேஷன். அந்த மேட்ச் முடிஞ்ச உடனே த கைண்ட் ஆஃப் ஃபீலிங் தட் வி ஹேட் வாஸ் அன்பிலீவபிள். That has to be one of the highest points of my life.
Did you achieve all the goals you set for yourself in 2016, and how do you look at 2017?
Genuinely, I didn't set aside any goals for 2016. Apart from the fact that I wanted to be the most valuable player in the team, try and make sure that I'm very decisive in team wins, and hence that was the only goal when I embarked on this 2016. I can't even remember where we celebrated the new year. That's how busy the year has been. But the only hindsight, looking at it, the only regret I'll have is lack of family time. Going into 2017, I think that's going to be even bigger a challenge. If I can just set aside the same amount of goals and process goals. Once upon a time, I used to hear people talking about keeping the process and not worry so much about the result. But I think I just entered the phase of my life where I think how process is very important, and I've started realizing what exactly they meant by process. I can't really empathize with the people in the past about what processes they've embarked on, but I'm pretty clear. Having a clear-cut plan, having to execute those plans in the nets and be ready for the next day, and try and prepare my body to be available and bowl those 30-40 overs in a day or in a innings. Those are the things I'm making myself prepared for. And it's only the tussle that I'm preparing for, not quite the battle.
So superhuman figures this year. So like next time when you get onto the field, such figures will be expected all the time. Every time you get to the field, how do you bring in a sense of perspective to your life as you go forward?
Expectations are bound to mount. Every time you do well, and every time you don't, people's expectations are let down, and if the team doesn't do well or win, it's going to be magnified even that much more. But to me, I think that's the only reason I'm playing this game for. I'm not playing this for anything else. As I told you, I'm not playing for the rewards. I'm not playing for the high risk, high rewards either. I'm just playing for the fact that I just think I love this game much more than anybody else in this world, and that's one of the reasons I'm playing this game. And obviously, the expectations and how people push me down, how people criticize me when I'm not doing well, it is just made for me. If at all you need to get me, you should get onto my good side. If you're going to challenge me, I'm just going to look to improve and try and beat it. The day I don't, I will probably call it quits.
How do you preserve yourself from burnout? I mean, physically and mentally. And how do you assess yourself after a day's play or after a touch? What's the thought process like?
One of the major ways of relaxing myself is to arrange such events and interact with lovely people like you. And it really gives me a refreshing relaxation from the burnout phases. And sorry to have missed out. What was the second part of your question? Yeah. See, sometimes in this last year, I've learned quite a lot of good lessons. When I've not had when the ball has not really come out well, I've ended up with 5-wicket hauls, and when it's come out really well, I've ended up with no wickets at all, like what happened in the last test. And so those are the kind of lessons I learn. I'm looking to learn every single day. So if I'm looking to learn every single day, the next day is only about improvement. So that's, if I can take it at one day at a time and try and monitor my progression and try and act on it, that's the best way to look at it. If I look 2-3 months ahead, then I'm going to get burnt out inside.
How did you find a bowler in this particular series against England when compared to Sri Lanka, the previous one? From within, how do you feel like when bowl your best?
Definitely, I'm bowling at one of my best phases in my life, but I wouldn't say this is the best. I think best times could be lying ahead. You never know. every time I thought this is the best I can offer or this is the best I'm bowling at, I've always managed to surprise myself, which is a good thing. And I just hope it continues and I can keep getting better and better.
இப்போ 2017 வந்து யூ ஆர் கோயிங் டு பிளே டொமஸ்டிக்கில் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஐ மீன் வித்தின் இந்தியா 5 மேட்சஸ் தான். ஸோ ஃபைவ் டெஸ்ட் தான் ப்ளே பண்ண போகிறீங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன்.
5 டெஸ்ட் தான்.
5 டெஸ்ட் தான். ஸோ மற்ற மேட்சஸ் எல்லாம் ஐ மீன் இன் அப்ராடில் நடக்குது, நிறைய டூர்ஸ்லாம் இருக்குது. ஸோ இப்போ அப்ராடில் போகும்போது
ஸ்ரீலங்கா போகிறோம்னு நினைக்கிறேன்.
ஸ்ரீலங்கா,
சவுத் ஆஃப்ரிக்கா போகிறோம்.
சவுத் ஆஃப்ரிக்கா போகிறீங்க. ஸோ வாட் வில் பி த ஸ்ட்ராட்டஜிஸ் இன் சவுத் ஆஃப்ரிக்கா?
ஸ்ரீலங்காவில் வந்து போன தடவை எப்படி போட்டனோ அதே மாதிரி போடலாம், ஏன்னா அங்கே மேன் ஆஃப் த சீரிஸ் தான் வாங்கினேன். சவுத் ஆஃப்ரிக்காவில் லாஸ்ட் டைம் ஒரே ஒரு டெஸ்ட் விளாண்டேன் ஜோஹானஸ்பர்கில். அதுக்கப்புறம் அந்த சீரிஸ் விளாட்ல, அது 2 டெஸ்ட் சீரிஸ். ஸோ அங்கே போனால் டெஃபினட்டாக நல்லா பண்ணோன்னு மனசுக்குள்ளே ஆசை இருக்குது. அண்ட் சவுத் ஆஃப்ரிக்கா டெஃபினட்டாக சம்மர் டீம். இங்கே வந்து நம்மக்கிட்ட 4-0 தோத்தாங்க, பட் 3-0 தோத்தாங்க. பட் இப்போ அங்கே போகும்போது அதே மாதிரி நமக்கும் ஹெர்குலின் அந்த கண்டிஷன்ஸ்லாம் டிஃபிகல்ட்டாக இருக்கும். ஸோ இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் என்ன இருக்குன்னா, இதே மாதிரி அக்ளிமடைசேஷன் எப்படி வெஸ்ட் இண்டீஸ்லையும் ஸ்ரீலங்காலையும் பண்ணணும், அதே மாதிரி சவுத் ஆஃப்ரிக்காவில் பண்ணதுக்கப்புறமா இங்கிலாண்டில் எப்படி நல்லா பண்ணலாம், ஆஸ்திரேலியாவில் எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு ஆஸ்திரேலியாவில் நல்லா தான் பண்ணியிருக்கேன், இங்கிலாண்டில் எப்படி நல்லா பண்ணலாம் நெக்ஸ்ட் யோசிக்கணும். இதுதான் என்னோட லைஃப் பிளான்.
One area that you excelled was your batting, especially under pressure. Could you tell us what work has gone behind that and what aspects have you been working on when it comes to the batting?
See, Sanjay Bangar has been a very influential character as far as my batting has gone. He's given me very open feedback about how bad I was before or what was going wrong. We all don't like to know what's wrong or what's critical about what's wrong with our game. That's how everybody is, even in our lives. He told me how to improve. It's not been very easy. And that's again an unconventional route I've taken. What needs to be done? Sanjay can help me so much inside the nets in India and all that, whenever we're with the Indian team. But I have another unconventional coach in Mr. Srinivasan, who works with me at the academy. And we do different work. We did some different work on my batting. He's one of those guys who's prepared to work hard all through the day. And precisely before every series, we tried and replicated all sorts of bowlers that we could manage. For example, before going into the New Zealand series, we replicated Trent Bowles' left arm over, but we missed out on his left arm around, and which is exactly how I got dismissed in Kanpur. We used a lot of work on Ben Stokes about how we could reverse the ball, watching Bangladesh series, and how we could reverse the ball, try and tamper the ball, and try and bowl off spin from 16 yards, left arm spin from 15 yards, and all that. It's a constant work in process. We try and do different match scenarios, and even for the ODIs, we are trying to simulate how many balls we could bat and all that. So that's another unconventional attempt that I've made, and it's worked like magic so far. I felt it was pertinent that we did this, and no better occasion than having Bhairav and doing it in my home city. It gives me a lot of pleasure, and I'd like to thank you and welcome you here today. I'd just like to go back a little bit and talk about what's happened or what's panned out in the last couple of seasons. Some of you might have already heard it from me, but I'm going to talk about some sweeping changes that I've gone through in my life and in my cricketing career. It's not like I've been there for 20 years like one of the greatest Sachin Tendulkar did, but definitely there is some learning in there for me. In 2015 at Adelaide, what panned out was, people talk about my technical changes and my chat with Bharat Arun, but what was very striking to me was the fact that I played the previous test match in England, and I just assumed that I will play the next test match because that was at Oval, and I mean the away test, and I just thought that was the marking of a big comeback or a big change in my career. But what panned out in Adelaide was some sort of a shock to me. In hindsight, it was a kick down my backside to tell me that I was not good enough, and to take it personally is very, very easy, which I might have done if I was in 2008 when I came into the CSK team for the first time as a youngster, as 20-year-old. But this time around, I knew this had happened a couple of times now. I'd been left out once before and the second time now, and probably I had to look within inside myself. And one thing which I look back was at my college days. I'm going way back in my life because that was, I would like to think, was my turning point. I'm more than actually a cricketer who became an engineer. I would call myself an engineer who became a cricketer. Because until then I was a cricketer who played, enjoyed my sport. I thought I was born to play cricket and all that. But what engineering taught me was something which was the harsh realities of life. And to me, I went to the HOD for my final year, and I actually spoke to him saying, "Sir, my records are not pertinently signed, and I need to get it signed if I need to appear for my exams, final exams, to become an engineer." He said something which was very hurtful. He actually told me that you anyway earn money. You have a contract with the Chennai Super Kings. It's not like you need to be an engineer, and an engineer is someone who actually goes and works, and it is deserved by so many other people on the streets. And you seem to have actually played cricket, come on your free time to college, and have become an engineer. So what struck me that day was, he said, if at all you think you deserve to be an engineer and also deserve to be a cricketer, you need to put in the hard yards. What have you done? What have you done for us or for yourself to be eligible of this engineering degree? And I went back home thinking about it. I thought I had given up on my engineering, and I thought, that's it. All my hard work for the last 4 years has gone to waste. If I don't become a cricketer, I'm probably a wasted person for the rest of my life. I went back home and discussed this with my mother, and my mother said something that is very, very, she said it in our home language, which is Tamil, obviously. She said, if you don't improve, you don't get very far in life. But if you don't change, you don't give yourself a chance to improve. I would go back into the story because that fine day in Adelaide, when I had nothing to do for the 5 days, when actually Nathan Lyon was ripping the Indian batting lineup apart, was this particular statement that I gave myself. It goes like this: change and improvement are directly proportional. One cannot exist or happen without the other. And if I have to change, if I've decided to change, improvement is just a result, it's around the corner. But if I look to improve, change is inevitable. So the only thing that I did was to actually tell myself that my attitude needed a kick by the backside, and my attitude needed to change. Because my attitude was coming in the way of actually improving myself. How much ever I looked to improve, my attitude was the same. You see a lot of people in life, I also meet a lot of people who actually do this constantly. They look to improve, doing the same things again and again in life. It doesn't get you very far, my friends. That's my only lesson, and that's the reason behind even this association with these people. This is a topic which I really like to discuss because of the kind of interests I have in different walks of life. The first thing that struck me was, Byro also mentioned it some time ago, that they are also unconventional. Unconventional and unconventional people make good teams. I'm unconventional in a lot of ways, and that's the first thing that struck me. He said that I'll be the most endorsed player and all those things. Those things are just a byproduct. Those are things that both of us understood right away when we started meeting the conversation, and that's just an extension of what sort of a brand I've developed into over the last few years. But what we put together was how we can actually make a difference to people. How can I touch lives? And that is something I embarked even when I was just starting to play for India. Way back in 2010, I started my first cricket academy. And the cricket academy, when I started, most of the people said, "What the hell are you doing? And you're starting a cricket academy, you've just started your cricketing career, and make sure you concentrate on your game." These are just conventional ways of thinking, and it's a very Chennai way of thinking, a very Tamil way of thinking. But I've never heeded that any year at all. And here I am today running into the successful 6th year of Gen X Cricket Academy. We do exchange programs across the world now, and we are embarked on a global tour right now. And those are the partnerships that we discussed about. To me, what stood out was that we were not talking money. We were talking about how we could touch lives through an Ashwin Foundation. Today's day actually means that it's the day where we launch Ashwin Foundation. We are touching lives through eye donation. Most of you must have taken a look at my New Year wish on social media. It was very heartfelt. There was nothing behind it, no intent behind it. The only intent being how we can all contribute towards a better society, a better nation. So we decided to embark on eye donation camps, blood donation, traffic and road safety, which is one of my favorite topics. We are all very, very self-disciplined on those regards. And Also, it doesn't mean that we'll not embark on any other good causes as well. We will if and there is a possibility and if something good arises our way. And also to touch upon a little bit about Gen Next, that is the first way I found in a way I could make difference to a lot of lives, a lot of people, a lot of kids. And we are definitely looking to progress into that as a partnership. Playing cricket and also managing all these things have definitely been hard work for me. But that's what's kept me going. So that's what's going to continue keeping me going. But we are going to do it in a better and a bigger way. And I'm elated and excited to be entering into this partnership. I'm not a man for monies, so Bhairav knows it really well. It's all about how much of a difference we can make. This is a start of how many lives we can touch, and we are just going to focus on that and keep going ahead.